Alright, so today we're back on the Suzuki Intruder 1986. We finally got our choke cable. Here it is, part number 58400 38 Apple 02. And so first thing we're gonna do is run the choke cable to the rear carburetor right here. And it's got to run underneath this part right here and up here so that we can hook it up to the front carburetor. Okay, these are the springs that go on the valve, on the choke, carburetor choke, and the front and the rear have two different part numbers. The front one is 13417-08210, and the rear is 13417-22010. Just want to point that out.
You gotta take those screws out of that thing.
What screws?
Out of the filter.
Don't worry about it. I'll get that when we get to that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
12 millimeter. Just give it a quarter turn. Once it's snug, just give it a quarter turn. All right. So this wire here goes from one carburetor to the other carburetor. Goes right here. Right there. I don't know. And then this one goes over here. So this thing here, where all the wires are, this side goes towards the head, and you gotta push the wires up and at the same time put the carburetor down. Now this piece here seems to be in the way, so move that. There we go.
Oh, and this is...
There we go.
You drop some?
No, it's the wire that was there. There we go. This hose that goes all the way down here, in my case it has a spring. It goes from the top carburetor and it feeds from the bottom to the top or top to the bottom. It goes right here on this section. Put that one in next, and then you have on the bottom. This one here is going to be a overflow hose that comes up this way and just goes down that way, and then this hose right here is the one that goes from the tank down to the fuel pump, and then this one here goes up into the back carburetor. We'll do this one next. There we go. All right, once you got those in, this one we do later, the overflow. Now we can push the filter back in place. Hit stop on the video. Okay, so now that we got that hose in place and we push the box back and screwed the box in, you got to remember to tighten the collar around the carburetor. All right, these plastic parts right here with the nipples, one goes there, one goes there. Which this one we didn't take out, but this one we did. And originally I thought this screw went here, but it doesn't. This goes here because that's what holds the cover in place. And the same thing on the rear, on the other side. One goes here and one goes there. So we'll put those on there, and it actually holds the fuel pump in place. Right there. All right, next step is we're going to put this part. And this part is a little mission. And this one here was installed incorrectly, and it was biting this part right here. So we straightened it out, and hopefully we can get it back in there without too much fuss. So let's unplug this and we can plug this back up. Give me a screwdriver.
I think you got it.
That one's got one side of it. And when I get the bottom on though, the top wants to come off. See? This is a couple of Alright. Once you struggle past getting this in place and that in place, then we just gotta tighten it down. That's probably the hardest part of the whole build, is getting that little cover back on there. For me, anyway. That's it. That's that. That's tight enough. Alright, we'll put this plug back in place. Alright. Originally, I took these spacers and we wrapped them in tape so they don't get lost. Here, two for you. And these are the spacers that go under the coils.
Need that screwdriver when you get a chance.
Alright, next thing we got to do is put the front carburetor on. And it just slides right down in there over the top. And that's all it is. That goes there. Okay, stop it. This area right here. Alright, we're getting ready to put the front carburetor, and the throttle wires on this, it's going to be on this side. I wanted to show the fuel line that comes up from the fuel pump. Before you put the carburetor in, you want to slide that underneath. That way it'll be in place, but out of the way. And then this one here is the clutch cable. We had it over the top, so that can stay there for now. These wires are going to go on that side, and this hose connects to, this hose connects here, and this is the other vent hose. Okay, so what I want to do is get these wires in place. The throttle wire. Now this is going to be flipped around like this. We'll put this one in place, and there was another wire actually that we have to do first. Huh? Was it this one? This one screws on. This one screws on here. Actually, we have to do this one first. It's hard to see what I'm doing. All right. So you hook that one in there first, and then you got this part here, and let's find the screw for this. A good idea when we take this stuff apart is to put the screw back where it goes. That way, if you got a lot of screws to deal with, you know you're putting the correct one in there. And I remember, I think it was a Phillips. It's not very long.
This is the only. Oh, here. It's gotta be this.
It's gonna be it right there. If you got a really good memory and you can remember where they go, that's fine. Another thing you can do is you can have a lot of small Ziploc bags, and you label where they go, and you stick the screw in the Ziploc bag. All right, so that's in place. Now we're going to put this one in place. And that's more or less where it goes. Now we can find the screw for this. Or actually, we'll do that later. Let's put it in place. And don't forget to take out your plastic. The next step we're going to do is put this choke on this side on.
So you need the parts for the top?
Yeah, I need the parts for the choke. And we're going to use the old one.
Yeah, I gotta give you the O-ring.
Alright, so this is the old one. And it has this plastic piece, but I don't know if we can salvage that. In reality,
You could just use the same one.
we could have used the old one. We could try to remove this, and most likely it'll break. Or we can just use the old one. Give me a little strip of tape right here. Cut me out about 1.5 inches of it. I don't need it yet. Wait till I finish putting this in. Is it 12?
I don't know what you did with the ratchet. I think it's 14.
14. the only function of this tape is to keep the dust out. That's what that sleeve was for.
Sure doesn't keep it from
Nothing else.
sliding out?
No.
That's what I'm worried about. It slides
It's
out and it doesn't go
self-sustained.
back in.
It's self-sustained. Yeah, it can slide out, but it'll slide back in. It's self-sustained because of the spring. The spring in the valve is not letting it won't let it come out. All right, so that's in there. If I remember right, we got the two cables. We got the choke, and if I remember right, we took the choke out last, so we'll put the choke in first, just like that. And slide this baby in there. Oh, what happened here? Just messed up here. Show this. I messed up here. I put the cable over the wires. The cable has to be under the wires. So, something to look out for. This particular cable here, which is the one that goes to the back. Right. Actually, both cables. All we gotta do is I'll remove the choke and run the carburetor underneath. Just remove the choke. So we don't lose that spring.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
yeah.
we did last time.
Please don't lose that spring.
Let's grab this tape so I can. Okay. You see why it can't fall through? Because the spring and that thing's holding it in place, self-sustained because of the spring. All right. So hold that choke right there for a minute. Here, run. This underneath all of this.
Wait a minute, something's not right though.
That's right. You got to make sure is that the wire harness goes over the top of these cables. When I originally put it on, I didn't pay attention. I had the harness underneath it. So now I got the harness over it. Now we're gonna put. Ooh, totally forgot about this. We left it hanging there. We
I
could have
know,
lost
but
it.
it wasn't gonna come off.
We could have lost it. All right, so we put that choke back in its place. Got me another piece of, a little bit longer this time, of the tape. And all that does is just keep the dust out of there. That's all it does. But since we didn't order the dust sleeve, the old one broke, we're just gonna put a piece of tape on that for now. Well, next time we have to take this apart, we'll order the sleeve. Got it? Made it too long this time.
Here. Look. Hey.
I don't need it. That's fine. That's there. Now, we Gotta put the choke side in down first, because it's the bigger part. This wire's in the way. Once the choke's down in there, then we can put this side, the wire side down. All right. This was another one that's a mission to mount.
Starting to go.
There we go.
Gotta get the back end.
Back in.
There we go.
There we
This
go.
one.
Ooh,
Here, so you can screw it, tighten it.
it's in place.
Yeah, it's in place. I can see the little rubber has like a latch it goes on to.
I'm gonna start it up. Key in the ignition. All lights on. Neutral. Start it up. What it sounds like.